Did we seriously get this instead of another egg hunt? Wow. The Hunt Mega Edition is the latest Roblox event that has happened in our time. The event has 25 games in it, which is amazing, and 2 objectives, which I guess is acceptable. Anyways, there's literally nothing else that's special of this event besides the 1 million USD prize for the person who gets in the top 10 on the leaderboard, but that's something very few people will actually experience because that would mean non-stop playing and to have a brain, which I don't. If this video comes out before the stream, I wish good luck to you guys. Anyways, time to start the review. The hub has literally nothing. That's not a joke, it has nothing in it. It's just the same hub from the Hunt First Edition, copy and pasted with nothing else on it. There are other sub-places though, and they also have very little to offer. Sure, the puzzles are pretty good sometimes, and they're all very aesthetically pleasing to look at, like Tile Zone, Beam Zone, Shape Zone, and Not Block Zone, but other than that, there isn't much else to say. 5 out of 10. This is the best objective a Dusty Trip has had. All of their other objectives were, in my opinion, really just time wasters, but for this objective, you can complete it surprisingly quickly. The objective was to complete the event map, which was pretty easy. The only slow parts are the bosses, but even they are pretty quick to beat. I would 100% give this a 9 if you couldn't just cheese like half of the boss's attacks. 8 out of 10. This one's kinda disappointing. TDS has consistently made amazing objectives, but to be honest, this objective just isn't very interesting. You just have to beat this really easy map and you win. All of the enemies are just the same as the enemies in the hunt, with only a few fallen enemies appearing. 5 out of 10. This just sucked a lot. First you have to watch 30 TikToks, then put on 2 outfits, then make a video with a few things in it. Maybe this is biased, but I hate TikToks, so having to watch 30 of them was a pain. Plus, this objective just isn't fun or interesting. Just watch a bunch of short videos, then do the other 2 objectives in 1 nanosecond. 2 out of 10. Bayside High School comes out with another great objective, though it isn't really original. You get literally absorbed into your phone and then have to play crossy blocks. Huh, I wonder what that is. It looked great and was pretty fun, but the controls were extremely weird to get used to. It feels like jumping on a platform is more reliant on whether you're on a specific tile rather than whether your character lands on it, which can lead to you looking like you went into the back rooms or walking on water and getting your wish. 6 out of 10. Cycle to 6 locations and take a selfie. It was quick but extremely uninteresting. 3 out of 10. Beat the AI in a 4v1. It was okay, but pretty easy, possibly because I had LeBron James on my team. 4 out of 10. Play a 2v2 and get a definitely real friend to let you get 5 goals. It was fine, not really fun or interesting. This game actually was forgotten and the badge didn't get counted for when joining the hub, so I guess that's an extra thing to talk about. 4 out of 10. Just to Iker was really boring. One of the quests had you play 2 rounds, which means that you basically just have to AFK for most of the time, and the rest of the time is used for clicking stuff and getting your definitely real friends to log on and vote you 5-star hearts. 2 out of 10. This game's objective was actually kind of fun. Most of it is spent on the derby for the 50 credits quest though, and despite being able to get a ton of credits from the main minigame, it takes a while for the main minigame to come up. But hey, fun game with a fun objective. 7 out of 10. What? But SpongeBob even fight? Like, he'd fight just even stronger versions of the robots from Battle for Bikini Bottom, or whatever that game's name is. How would enemy progression even work? Oh, sorry. Just beat the map. It's pretty easy, to be honest. Just join a group and spam towers. 5 out of 10. Wait, how would upgrading work? Like, what caused... Beat the special map. I kinda wish the weapon stats weren't locked, as then I would have beaten this very quickly, but whatevs. Boss for this map can actually get really annoying. The time you have to attack the dragon is oddly small, and there's a chance he'll just push you away with his breath, or just move to the other side of the arena from you, or both. 5 out of 10. Play the game until you have accumulated 200 points. Basically, just play the game. 4 out of 10. This is like the objective from the games, but so easy it's actually a joke in comparison. Basically, you have to take down these twins called the Void Twins to get the token. When you actually go and fight them, you need to talk to that one guy from the game's objective, and he gives you tips for each fight. The thing is that you don't actually have to use these tips, which is so funny. I was able to beat this entire thing in 11 minutes, which is so short, especially if you look at the time it took me to beat the first boss in the games, which was around 2 hours. This was extremely high quality though, so I'll give the devs that. 8 out of 10. Also basically just the game's objective. Really easy, but also a little boring. 5 out of 10. Just play the game, 3 out of 10. I'll never get used to hearing the words Hell's Kitchen Roblox coming out of Gordon Ramsay. Anyways, the objective is to literally just play the game, 3 out of 10. Play a game of 1v1, then kill a few people in 2v2. It's a little hard if you get paired with people who are a lot better at the game than you, but it's manageable, 5 out of 10. What? I'm so confused. The only thing I know about this game is that it's a reimagining of the elevator genre and has a lot of lore, but how do Gasa 4, Flatgrass, and BFDI contribute to the lore? And what even is going on in most of everything in this game? Anyways, survive 10 floors, aka play the game, 5 out of 10. Open the egg in the St. Patrick's Day event world to abuse how OP those pets are and beat the tier 2 raid after upgrading your strength and stuff. It was surprisingly high quality for pet sim, but a little long with very low direction to get the token, 6 out of 10. Feed the noob from the thumbnail who's broke both of his legs because that one narrator dude from Pressure told him to. This takes a little bit to do, but I guess it wasn't bad, still getting a 4 out of 10. This is just playing the game for the most part. You have to collect 350 Robux, which are obtainable by winning, tagging, or running around, 5 out of 10. Get 10 career fish catches, that's not a joke, open 2 bait crates and get a present and give it to this guy at spawn. Really easy and really boring, 4 out of 10. This one, it's just underwhelming. Arsenal has made literal 10 out of 10 objectives every single time, but here, not much really happens. You shoot a few enemies, escape a jail, but that's it. It feels like this was either made with very little time and very little ideas of what to do. Kinda sad, but I bet that the next event they're in, their objective will be gold. 7 out of 10. I would have actually completed this before Arsenal, but yeah, I instantly left the game after that. Now, something you need to know about me is that if you put me in a room with any sort of horror media, I'm ending up in the grave. This was my first time playing Pressure, and not even looking at the event, this is the greatest Roblox game I've played in a long time. Everything is executed in my opinion perfectly, and the gameplay is actually superb. The event has you beat the new event map with the most polite and cute monster you've ever seen in your life basically chasing you. The dynamic of having to look at the monster is so troublesome, but is also so fun in my opinion. The fact that he can help you too is also just such an interesting concept. I love this so much. 10 out of 10, badass certified album of the year. Yeah, it's a 2-player obby. I got my definitely real friend to play with me and it was pretty easy, though the terrain can be extremely hard to pull your friend through as they can get stuck on it. 5 out of 10. So that's the event. What an amazing event, truly great. I hope there isn't anything else that needs to be collected. Ha 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 ha. There's Gunter badges. Yep. If you're wondering how I'm gonna rate these, I'm just going to re-rate the games, so the previous ratings are basically obsolete. I'll also be skipping over the puzzles as there's nothing really much to say about them. Anyways, to get the Mega Token, go to the event map and dig up a bunch of X's. This will give you a literal map that leads you to this pirate ship. Then find a key, go to a maze, and beat a map which is actually a little bit harder than the first map, but not too bad. You then get another literal map which leads you back to the first map. You then need to go into this cave, do a dance, and you get the Mega Token. I generally don't have anything else to say about this objective. It was simple and that's really it. 5 out of 10. This one is actually so freaking cool. You have to do this really cool adventure through this office that's definitely not a prison. What'd make you think that? I think the mechanics are explained pretty well, and though I do think that there could have been improvement on the parts that are hard to sight read, I love this. 9 out of 10. I literally just called this the best Roblox game I've played as of recent. What do you think I'll say? Anyways, first get this code, which you input into this door to get a new item called the decoder. After that, complete the event map, which is actually really easy after you get the hang of it. It's kinda funny to think I struggled a lot before attempting the Mega Token. While completing the map, get a 5-character code with the decoder with a few radios and input it into another door that leads you to the actual part of the objective. Oh boy, this new map is freaking stressful. I've never felt this stressful since probably floor 50 of the Great Central, and that's saying something. You have to deal with a harder version of the polite and cute monster with that rush dude, and the dude you can stop with a gun, while getting oxygen canisters, while avoiding lava, while collecting 30 shards of the Mega Token, while under a time limit before William Afton kills you. I love this so much. It isn't like it's hard, you just have to master everything, which you probably already have, but every single distraction you need to do makes you so vulnerable. The shards are the biggest distraction. Getting literally every single one of them probably would make your run about 3 minutes long, but there's also the cutie who, if you look away for a second, will attack you. So there's that risk and reward of deciding whether cutting the amount of time needed to beat the map is worth it, or whether you should wait for another shard to appear and collect that. I could go on for a while longer, but then this video would probably be 30 minutes long if it hasn't accidentally reached that already. My only problem is the ending actually isn't that scary despite it attempting to be, and you forgot to add a shirt on the dude. 10 out of 10. Oh my god, this is actually so annoying to do. The first step is to get a friend, like a real life friend, not an alt account that you were using on your second monitor. Not like I was doing that, just saying. This friend has to also have every single badge, including the block zone badge that you get from getting to the block zone. After that, beat the obby, which is pretty easy but has some pretty bad sight readability. There's also the problem with the length. This obby took me probably over 30 minutes, which I know isn't a very long time, but Jesus, did it feel like it dragged on a lot. The final section also just kinda sucks, as you need to hold down the S key to start walking the fastest, and if your friend doesn't know that, you're screwed because of the chain you have on you. 4 out of 10. This one was kind of fun to do, to be honest, though they also did a gunfight arena moment. First, shoot a bunch of targets in the training area until a wall opens, and talk to the chicken man I forgot to mention in the rivals part of the video. He's like some dude who hates his job at Noisy Studios or something, but it isn't important, so who cares. Then get 15 blueprints in 3v3 matches, which was actually kind of fun to do, though they made blueprints drop when someone dies instead of just giving it to you, so that's just super duper joyously jolly. And then pick between 2 bosses and beat one, which you could do easily by just taking it slow and not running around. I appreciate the boss fight, but that's really all there is to this objective, so 6 out of 10. Just like what Toasted Cherry said in that one Discord video, Clipit's riddles are 5. Complete them and the devs will feel divine. Trust me, he said something like that. Anyways, like I said, read riddles which lead you to a hat in a scene, go to a part of that scene with the hat on, and continue doing that until you get the mega token. Literally nothing else. I'll give them props for making riddles though, that's cool. 3 out of 10. This one was a really big nothing burger and was actually kinda boring. You have to go on a fetch quest and get some numbers to activate a portal, then kill the boss, which gets a little buggy in the second phase. I literally don't have anything else to say besides that it was mid. 5 out of 10. This one's pretty easy and actually very cool. You build this portal with, according to the Roblox Discord server, microwaves, and do this boss fight with 2 phases, which kinda surprised me. I never knew that there would be more than 1 phase of a boss fight in a Dusty Trip. The boss itself is a callback to Field Trip Z, which was so nostalgic to see. Again, I would 100% give this a 9 out of 10 if you still couldn't just cheese the boss. Yeah, you can just cheese the boss. 8 out of 10. Well, atheists, we finally have confirmation that science is the true creator of the universe, as Infection Gunfight is proof that God does not exist. Whoa, okay, so, you know how I talked a lot about Pressure being the best game I've played in a long time despite hating horror? Well, Infection is the complete opposite. It's the worst experience I've had in a long time despite liking FPS games. For the Mega Token, find some goggles that randomly spawn and now you can see letters floating around players. After that, you must spell the words Mega Hunt. Wow, that sure sounds like a cakewalk. Well, the letters actually are randomly generated, reset after every round, reset if someone actually gets the Mega Token in the server, and probably worst of all, need to be spelled in order. You. Huh? I not get it. So this entire objective is to just walk around and hope that the letter you need randomly shows up on a player. It really didn't help that if you didn't get them in one round, for a while the letter indicator would just disappear, meaning you would have to keep track of it by yourself. They later nerfed it to only need the letters for Mega, so I guess that's enough, but Jesus, I mean Laurentium, was this terrible? Anyways, if you get a server cooperative enough, which took me around a short minute 3 hours to find, then this isn't that bad, but it's still a big pain in the ass, especially with the RNG factor. Not even sure how this made it through Roblox playtesting, to be honest. Anyways, for my suffering, I'm just gonna give this an easy Metacritic 1 out of 10. Please never be in an event ever again, okay, thanks. Oh hey, a challenge that isn't that bad. Switch a lever to activate 3 signs of the map with a number and a shape. After finding them, go to a court and shoot 3 baskets in a row in the order that was given in those signs. Then you have like 30 seconds to score more points than an AI opponent. Odds aren't completely stacked against you, though for new players, the shooting is a little hard to get used to. Also, if there's a tie, the game literally just pauses until someone gets a point, which is a mess system. It would be cool to have something kinda like Smash's Sudden Death, where the game resets but whoever gets a basket first wins, instead of just letting the game continue as normal, but that's just a nitpick. 4 out of 10. Just do random tasks and travel around the island. It was okay. 3 out of 10. This one has the most Gunter thing imaginable. There's a code made of lights on the ceiling. How do people find this stuff? Anyways, this was actually pretty well made. The concept is quite funny. It's just a food reviewer liking Ramsay's food so much I wanted to steal the recipe. Everything else was a little fine. The part where you cook the recipe was a little strict in my opinion, but it was manageable and I did it on my 4th try. 5 out of 10. Oh wow, this one was actually amazing. There's a part where you just do these tasks, which I won't say much about except it was pretty good, but the really good part is the RPG section. Just like with the games, if you told me Arsenal would have a section that has RPG elements, I'd freak out and have fantasies and then Arsenal would fall off and I'd forget about what you told me, but hey, this is still amazing. The only thing that I can complain about is that the objective is generally too long, and that's with me spam clicking all the dialogue like a speedrunner. The objective itself takes around an hour, which is actually a little ridiculous, especially since this is the only objective that actually requires you to spend an hour. Even though it's long, I'm still giving it a 9 out of 10 like it deserves. Get fun. Anyways, this is mostly just a waiting game. You basically need to talk to this NPC that's just hanging out on the island, go to this lab, which is very unindicated, then go to 4 different maps and talk to the NPC to get a literal baby hint to get a disaster and input it inside the lab. This objective is mostly weighed down by how most of it is just waiting instead of actual gameplay, but the lab itself is actually one of the cooler puzzles in this event, plus the little mini disaster that plays is kinda cute. 6 out of 10. This one is surprisingly high quality and pretty hard. You first have to scavenge the map for a button, how fun, then get an egg and feed it to the noob, who will then have a panic attack, noticing that he just ate an egg with its shell and can't move to call an emergency hotline because he broke his legs. You'd then be teleported to Crossroads, except there's an egg trying to kill you and make you fall off the face of the planet. You have to dodge it and make it to the top of the mountain. This is hard, but not too hard, that is until you get to the stairs. Oh no. I don't think I've ever feared a few steps in my life. Oh my god, I mean Laurentium. But those were really the only hard parts. The rest of the map was kinda easy, to be honest. 6 out of 10. This one's just a little bit confusing and could use a little bit more indication. You first have to go to the OG map and find a secret room, then finish your derby map and grab a key in the winner's ceremony. And after that, you just drive your car into the crushers. It's extremely simple, but the only problem is that the freezer and the nature slide aren't really directed to. The freezer you have to do in the OG map for some reason, and the nature slide is just on top of a hill for some reason. Kinda interesting, but whatever. Easy token. 7 out of 10. Oh no, we have an unfair objective just like Infection Gunfight. Okay, sorry Blade League, that was an exaggeration, but wow, is this unfair. So first you need to play a bunch of maps and get a code, which after that you need to find an AI that definitely isn't too powerful and is faster than the ball. Basically what you want to do is just brute force the ball through Shrek over here and just hope that you get lucky and have the ball go through him and get to the goal. Yeah, 2 out of 10. I'm just so confused about this entire thing. How did people solve this? Like, how did we get putting 247 on a cheerleader sign in front of a decal you activate with a black light? And especially the last test you need to do. That one is just a shitpost. Literally. Then you just have to beat Crossy blocks, but easier because it has checkpoints and you're done. The weird Battlefield Easter egg part really kills this objective. I can barely comprehend what is even going on in the tutorial I watched. Heck, even the person doing the tutorial was confused. 5 out of 10. Hey, this was actually kind of fun. You have to get a few sticky notes which will lead to floppy disks that you need to do a short but fun little minigame to decrypt. You then get a code and open a chest with it. Pretty fun objective. 6 out of 10. Just beat a harder version of the map. That's it. 5 out of 10. Person had an amazing idea for a Gunter challenge and threw it out the fucking window and created one of the worst objectives in this event. This objective on paper is completely fine, heck, I'd say it's amazing. But then comes the actual execution, which is literally horrendous. The problem is there's literally no indication. Yes, not one. There aren't any hints, no real signs that something should be checked, just some ideas loosely tied together. For example, the golden room had letters in them. People speculated that they spelled Gunter, which they were correct about, but the problem is, there's literally nowhere to put Gunter. People tried clicking the letters, I tried clicking the rainbow, Creek tried putting it in the input code used to access the golden room, but nothing worked. Then someone actually leaked what you're meant to do, and you were meant to click unindicated letters in the next room, which spawns a pot of gold. How were you meant to know this? Just guess? This is so stupid and could have been fixed so easily. What if when you input the golden room code, if you hadn't opened the next room, it opens automatically, even without the previous room being cleared? Heck, if Preston just put a fucking mouse click indicator in that room, we'd cut at least like 30 minutes off of the average playtime for this objective. Don't even get me started on the click every clover part. The fact that this exists is so stupid. This had so much potential and Preston just had to throw it in the landfill. 1 out of 10. Get a code from some weird symbols, move this ball to a hole, and input the code. The ball is annoying to get in the hole, but I wouldn't say that's really an issue, as the water is shallower than a bathtub and the railing makes it kinda easy to get the ball up the hill. Pretty okay. 5 out of 10. Oh wow, this one is actually kinda cool. First you go on top of the map, quote unquote, hack the game, and get kicked. Unsurprising. Wait, what? What? Do the simple Abu of Blindness 5 and beat the boss, which is also kinda easy. This one genuinely surprised me, and I was not expecting for this to be so high quality and cool. 9 out of 10. This also surprised me. I did not expect this to be fun or good at all. You first equip this remote, then get these batteries. Once you interact with the remote, you'll be teleported to the eyes of a scientist working on a mysterious project. Whoa! I wasn't actually paying attention to the story, I don't know if that's true. You then have to do this really simple puzzle that I won't say was really good, but was kinda enjoyable to piece together all the pieces. Then do an easy boss fight and some mini games and you're done. This was pretty good and I liked it very much. 3.5 out of 5 stars. And the last game, Fish. This one was oddly simple to understand. You get this quest to uncover the mystery of Cthulhu, which you don't actually uncover, but I know the truth about Cthulhu not existing anyway, so I don't care. Once you activate the quest, go to Terrapin Island and order these pillars to match the door. Afterwards, you drop down an inconspicuous hole, do a maze, and fish some fish because that's the name of the game. To the right of the pond is the head of Cthulhu, which shows a bunch of decals of music jargon. If you actually know music theory, hi. And also you can just get out Notepad and type all the types of notes out. For the last step, go up to this rock while holding a fish and a decal of that note will appear and you just have to put it in order on another door. Then you win, yay! This was extremely simple, but pretty fun, plus it shows that music theory is an important life skill. 7 out of 10. And with that, the Hunt Mega Edition is complete. The average score for each game was exactly 5.5 out of 10, excluding the hub, 5.52 out of 10, so rounded up as 6 out of 10. I will now go over the pros and cons of this event. Pros. Actual supervision. I know this may be a weird thing to say, but a large portion of the event in my opinion felt very easy and very short compared to past events. Even PS99 didn't have an objective that took 2 hours to complete. I believe this isn't because every single developer just thought the same thing and made every objective easy and pretty short, but actually because Roblox is taking steps in the right direction to actually curate what objectives games have. And though there are probably a ton of holes that need patching, like Infection, Blade League, and PS99, I feel like this will lead to some great coming events. Execution. I love the execution done here. It isn't like you can just complete every single game in one sitting, but instead you have a set amount of games you must do, and after that, you get to take a rest and sleep, and the next day get back on the grind. I like this idea a lot, as with past events, it could be extremely draining to try to finish an event as quickly as possible. Here, Roblox is letting you just sit back once you've gotten everything you need for the next batch of tokens to come out, letting you recharge and do other important things. Go. Now you've seen it if you've played the event. Fyodoric is on the leaderboard. If you don't know, the last event video Fyodoric made said that he no longer had any motivation to continue playing Roblox events and decided to stop playing them. Now he's back and going to California to compete for 1 million USD. I think this goal really made people actually want to play the event, as money is money and the amount of money is too much to just pass. Though I will say, there were a lot of people who are stupid and accuse a lot of people of cheating, like Roby100, who I'm pretty sure is one of the smartest Roblox players who teamed up with many more of the smartest Roblox players. Gunting. Do I even have to explain it's gunting? Gunter groups really show the intelligence of Roblox players, and it's so cool to see people try to unfold a big puzzle. They're so cool. The main criticism for the Hunt First Edition was the lack of items you can obtain compared to the amount of time and work you needed to put in. Even though there's no complaint here because instead of 100 games, there's only 25, Roblox still added a ton of items. According to the fandom page, there are 18 prizes, excluding blinged ones and the top 50 prize. That's an insane amount for only 50 objectives, and well worth somebody's time. Cons. Quality control. I still think that the quality of these events should be checked more, as some of the objectives are literally just playing the game, like UTG and Regretivator. Some are just trash, like both objectives from Clip It. We want objectives that are engaging and not just watch 30 TikToks. Theme. One of the biggest mistakes with the Hunt First Edition was that there was no coherent theme. There was talk about how the Hunt was where things were both new and old and core blocks, and these incoherent themes are still here. Some games have one theme, like Metro Life, talking about time, and TDS, which I'm pretty sure is the only game with core blocks in it. Some games like Bayside High School and A Dusty Trip didn't even have a theme and just did whatever the heck they wanted. Please just add a theme next time, Roblox. Egg Hunt. The Hunt Mega Edition is in fact not an egg hunt. The Hunt Mega Edition was not what anyone wanted, but was a sign that Roblox is really willing to improve their events. The event was surprisingly fun and had a lot of great highs with many less lows than any event before it. And though I think that there are plenty of things to improve, like replacing all the badges of eggs you get in your inventory, I think that Roblox will be on their way to make better and better events. I give Roblox's The Hunt the Electric Boogaloo a 6 out of 10. This was definitely the best Roblox event we've gotten in a while. And to the person who wins, can I get like 0.1 multiplied by 10 to the power of 3% of the prize money? Thank you! To my non-existent fans, see you in the next video where... Oh gosh, I don't even know. It's probably gonna be just another badge completion video knowing me, so look out for that.
Big black Australop cockerel, one of 500 birds that are being judged today at the show.